move on to Dr. Rautela. I can already see that he is here. Dr. G.S. Rautela will be speaking on new trends in museums. Dr. G.S. Rautela is now the advisor to the Department of Science and Technology, a government of Uttarakhand, for their upcoming Science City project at Dehradun. He is a physicist and a trained science communicator, museum professional, and science educator. He also serves at the board of Science Museum Centers in India. He retired as the Director General of India's National Council of Science Museums, a network of over 48 science museums and centers under the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. Earlier, he held the positions of Director Science City, Kolkata, Director, Nehru Science Center, Mumbai, Project Coordinator, Hall of Science, Technology and Energy, New Delhi, Project Coordinator, Regional Science Center, Bhopal, and Curator of Nehru Science Center in Mumbai. He also held the charge of Director, the Anthropological Survey of India, for almost 3 years. During his science museum career, spanning 37 years, he immensely contributed to the development of museums, science centers, and science cities, and in development of numerous hands-on science exhibits, education programs, and outreach activities. His interest area of research in museums is behavior and demography of audience and learning in museums. He has several publications in museum and science and related topics. At international level, he was chairman of the International Committee on Education and Cultural Action of the International Council of Museums and its regional coordinator for Asia, Pacific, and Australia. Currently, he is member of the Legal Affairs Committee of the ICOM Paris. It's over to you, Dr. Rautela.
Sir, kindly unmute yourself, please. सर आपको प्लीज अनम्यूट करके बोलना पड़ेगा, आपका माइक ऑफ है.
Rautela ji, please
Yes.
unmute yourself.
Yes, your screen is to be seen. It just needs to get onto slideshow mode, Dr. Rautela, and then we need to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. But please,
Thank
would you
very
take
much for, yeah. How are you?
Yes, take it to slideshow, please. Yes.
Seeing you nice, both of you, Kedareshwari and yourself, Sonia. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to just quickly talk on a topic which is very important today. Actually, I'm in Kolkata and participating in Museum Expo. That is during the International Day of Museums. So there have been tremendous excitement here among participants. And so we had a lot of shows, 46 companies, museum developers, new technologies, new techniques in museology, all there are on display. So it's very nice. Thank you for this. I thought I'll talk to you in something about new trends that is emerging in museums. And see, I was part of this new definition of museums drafting committee of ICOM, and you might see that there is the scope of the museum activities have widened from this definition. The definition came out of what people are doing all across the globe, and you find a lot of new dimensions are there in the definition, especially education, enjoyment, reflection, and knowledge sharing. That means when you talk about enjoyment and reflection, and you talk about new communication techniques to be effective. So that's the thing I would like to talk about. And you know, the philosophy of museums have been always from known to unknown or unknown to known. That's what the methods you use. And the way we displayed in museums initially started with eyes on, that you just have look at it and go. Then came hands-on when you started operating things, touching things. Then now we talk about minds-on. That is minds-on mean where you have immersive presentations in museums, you feel part of the particular story that you have weaved into your curatorial work. And but a latest of this has been because of technology inclusion, physical, yes, physical to virtual. So now we are talking about virtual museums. Um, so, so trends in what? The new trends that are coming up in architecture, the buildings themselves of the museums have become very attractive from a distance. I'll show you a few pictures. And we have changed the concept and theme. Exhibit documentation technology is being utilized. And so you have a lot of new technique, so ways of documenting. And you have exhibits on display. The display is being changed to make it attractive, passive to interactive. That's the new mode now in museums of communication. Then programs are changing, more engaging programs. The definition of museums is changing from a mere visit to an experiential visit to the museum. So you engage people into the programs. Then your funding pattern, you do for a lot of CSR funding around, and you have rates, and you have a non-profit to business model. So that brings in a lot of challenges to museums in management structure, in the activities, especially marketing, because in India, we have a lot of museums which are under government. We hardly talk, bother about our funding patterns. And then networking collaboration has become an issue. We are in cloud sourcing mode now, and outreach activities. And so this all is coming up in museums now. And I have to share with you, even in America, some of the museums have started employing Disney staff into their experience design. So museum visit is not only a visit today, it is an experience. So you design an experience, not only visiting the exhibit, but seeing something else, doing something else, eating something else, and interacting with some people. So this is all new part of the exhibition design and presentations. And so we have become engagement centric. So we engage visitors in the museums today. We have kids corners, exclusivity. We have extensive digital interfaces. We have active and receptive and reflective aspect of the museums. Global citizenship means you are not, the museums, your visitors are global now because you are open 24/7, 365 a year through social media. And interdisciplinary concept in exhibitions, informal and education makes that you all do. And success of the museum earlier was known was known by internal expertise of curators. But now the success depends on networking, communication, collaboration, and engagement with the audience. So online, social media, utilization of that to promote your museums has become a very handy to museums today. Exhibits are full on contacts. Exhibit spaces are firing platforms for imagination, where you have lot of kind of imaginary presentations. And visitors are now considered the center of planning. So because visitors' satisfaction, learning, etc., is now a lot of research inputs are available to know how visitors learn, how do they react to the museum scenario. So we can go all for that today. Best practices are practiced and adequate attention is paid to effective and cognitive domains. So this is what it is. And in approach, we are changing museum to learning to constructive dialogue with the visitors, both online and offline, and on site. But lifelong learning is a motto of the museums now, highlighting new currents and adoption of digital technology for learning within and beyond the walls of museums. Cloud sourcing for designing, curating exhibitions, and getting input of the community into your own exhibition design. So this is what is happening a lot of the down in the museum field. So the exhibits are not only the artifacts which you display, you make artifacts speaking. I'll show you some examples where artifacts, even the paintings can be made something to move using digital technology. and whether AR or VR or augmented reality, all there are being used now to highlight the exhibits, make them more communicative. And you have immersive environments inside, and you have virtual presentations. And the exhibit model has changed from collection to outreach and museum without wall, and all these are new incorporated into museums. And in exhibits become interactive. I'm not talking about the arts museum where you make the exhibit interactive like science museum, but you provide add-on devices to make them interactive, to extract more information, and to enjoy the related story, which you can't put everything into a small level. So exhibits have become more communicative, and they have also multi-user and virtual access, maker strategies using public creativity. For example, the London Museum, if you have all seen, and British Museum, the art gallery, at the end of the art gallery, you have spaces for public to paint, either using computer or hand painting. This is being added to show that the visitors' creativity and all that is reflected. And the presentation inside the glass door are being popping out, and we have added information, as I told you, using technology. For example, the mummy kept in a museum can, through your augmented reality, can reveal what is inside the mummy. How are they? What person? For example, the Indian Museum, I saw a mummy, the Chhatrapati Shivaji, which they had x-rayed and found that was killed by a bullet. So that person, now how do the visitor know about it unless they see? So the augmented reality makes you to see the unknown story of the exhibits. And communication and marketing have become very crucial tool for visitors to for museums to be successful. You have levels, you have guides, you have websites, you have mailers, personally explained delivery, and you are using immersive experiences for as a new media. All this is happening, and these museums are becoming very popular at the moment. See a picture which I am showing here, how the art for painting can be made attractive. The figures on the painting can be made to move around or pop out from the painting, so that you are amused, you immerse into the situation. So this is what is happening, and this is some of the paintings which are become very obsolete or faded, cannot be visualized. So digitally recreated paintings, if you have a documentation properly done earlier, can now give visitors the original view of the paintings. And you have interactive devices, and it is also seen that if you have interactive device in the gallery, the visitor hold time increases by 3 times. So these are a part of the research communications. And you can use immersive environment to tell the story related to your collections. And for example, you have Indus Valley Civilization collection in the background. If you can really recreate digitally the Indus Valley site and township, so they visualize how that township looked like, not the only you recreated that. And so, for example, you have manuscripts you cannot give to visitors in your hand, but you can have flip books to turn the manuscript digitally digitized, and they can see each page of the manuscript instead of seeing only one that is displayed. And displays are now attractive. Ambience is made wow feeling. You have so visitors feel what a nice place they have come in. So with use of lights, use of colors, use of various designs that they make today, they incorporate professional approach to the design of the exhibition. And so business model has come into work. Now people are trying to become self-sustaining. So because that has also income generation has become important. So for that, marketing is very crucial. Indian museums don't recognize that much the marketing component of their management, but we at the Science Center see a lot of this implementation of these have increased our visitors substantially, and accordingly the income has increased. So that we can plow back to make things better. And then, but of course, however, you have challenges in museums. So how do you cope up with the rate of challenge and change, and how do you formulate a suitable mix for education and entertainment? What is the present? How do other competition that they have against the museums and the malls and the theme parks, etc., and museum being into one of the private one of the sites they can visit. So how do you do that? So you have to do experience design. A beautiful, I mean, the way professionals design the whole experience for visitors in the museum today has added to their more success. And so we should not be sitting idle, complacency, and we should be always aspiring to do changes, to adopt the new trends that are coming up, and so that we become more acceptable to museums, and we stand or we are what do you call sustainable. Look at one building in Sharjah. It's a museum. It's a butterfly shape. Look at how attractive it is. So from a distance, visitors get attracted to this. And look at these domes, some of them in Shanghai, and this Singapore Art and Science Museum, which is has such an art form of the building itself, which into five fingers, and you see this is so attractive from the other side of the bay. And so you have attractive entrances, the lighting, the London Museum, and so look at the Glasgow Museum lighting, and programs and activities have become more, so you have more engaging activities for visitors, which are fun-filled, relevant, and comprehensive. And so you create memorable experiences for visitors so that they get attracted to the museum and remain your reliable and royal visitors. And so the recent trends, so infrastructure upgradation, a more inclusive approach to exhibition. You are not remaining only egalitarian, but inclusive that way, and trying to financially viable and using technology to be more communicative and engaging. And more real educational experiences are being developed. So all this, which I'm trying to tell you, develop are here to make museums more attractive, more wanted, and more impactful for the purpose that we stand. And so networking has become a key to visitor to us today. Networking helps us in efficiency and improving our presentations. And so it also minimizes waste of efforts. Execution time, waste of efforts are is not there. Execution time is minimized. You get new perspective and new ideas. So that is what network. So I recommend, always recommend you must have networking with like-minded museums, and so that we learn from each other and we share our best practices. And social media for promoting museums and museums purpose has become key today. And the period has been described as an era of social networking, collective intelligence, and participation. So it is, and you become, the world is borderless today. So social media has become very powerful, and sharing, creating interesting content, engaging visitors, both on-site and online, connecting with museum lovers, royal visitors, loyal visitors, promoting your wonderful work and for marketing, reaching out to millions without much cost, and accomplishing your mission to be more promoted. So Richardson, that's why he said, if museums today want to carry out their mission with passion, then they must engage in social media. So yeah, you know, in our personal life, we are so much connected. Why not museums? And value in digital world, the museums are seen a trusted values organization, and the new social media helps you in the building that faith and confidence. And if you look at some of the museums, how they are fared, the Museum of Modern Art in New York had over 9 lakh hits every day by people. So I mean, the only people are accessing information about you. Metropolitan Art Museum have 5,69,000. Louvre has about 4 lakh, and Chatham Museum has about 3,18,000 visitors on Facebook. They visit every day to see your museums and virtually to access information. and Guggenheim Museum has 3 lakh visitors wanting to see what the museum has, and Twitter followers accordingly. And so this, what I mean to say, social media is becoming one tool of connecting to visitors even after their visit, and accessing information, and getting them, making their visit memorable and educative, and they take back memories, and they also can access from your own site website a lot of information. So this is what I see. The technology is influencing you. Presentations are being differently designed into experiences. So these changes are definitely happening, and whether we accept or not, these will definitely change the museums in future for the good. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. We are indeed grateful to you, Dr. Rautela, the former Director General of NCSM. There are almost 48, 50 museums now all over the country. Dr. Rautela was also responsible for modernizing the Nehru Science Center in Mumbai. If it is today what it is because of him. Anyway, sir, I'm so grateful because in spite of being in a very busy expo, you have been able to deliver your paper. May I request you to send me some photographs of the expo? I was interested. So if you can,
Yeah, sure.
take some pictures and send it across, and who are the 40 stalls, which are the 40 stalls put up, I'll be happy to see them. And Sonia, can you open the house for questions, please?
Yes,
Any questions?
absolutely. I was just waiting after thanking Dr. Rautela. Yes, any questions for Dr. Rautela, please? While waiting for the questions, I was just thinking, because you've talked about technology interface and digital intervention, but I'm also wondering about the inclusivity aspect, and just brings to my mind an incident about a few years ago when my house was going out on her day off, and with her 2 sons, and she said, oh, she will go to a mall and she'll go to a restaurant. And then I asked her, why don't you go to a museum? And the elder son asked me, what is that? So that was a very shocking revelation for me. And I urged them to go to, the Science City. And because I remember my delight in going there and sitting in the time machine. So I remember recommending that to them. But that's a one-off thing. So I'm really wondering how this inclusivity can be really made a reality. Any thoughts on that?
Yes, thank you very much for drawing my attention to that particular very important issue of inclusivity. Well, museums are really trying. I don't say they don't try. They are doing, but much more is to be done. And inclusivity in terms of physical visit to the museums is okay. That is not that easy as it should through the social media. Social media has become an important tool of reaching out to everyone. And so I would recommend that museums, unless they uh, enhance their inclusivity by having a very powerful social media presence, and we cannot achieve the dream of 100% inclusivity, because there the physical reality changes that you have to make into museums environment for being a physical, disabled friendly museums and old structures. You can't do that, and that's what is the problem coming up in some of the museums. But however, new museums, I know, because I'm designing few museums right now in Science Museum, we do consider these aspects of being visitor friendly to all categories of people who otherwise find the old structures very difficult to go to floor to move around. But yes, I agree. I am with you that this has to be practiced by all of us, and making museums really friendly to all sections of society. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. So do we have any questions for Dr. Rautela?
I think Kedareshwari asked me about Nehru Science Center, where my career
It
was
could be on
really
the
shaped.
chat, or it could be
Yeah, can I just answer what Kedareshwari asked
Where
Yes,
is
me?
the
yes, yes,
arm?
please.
Okay. And my career started in Nehru Science Center, Bombay. And I worked there for 21 years. And from scratch, from a garbage land to a science center, it was a very difficult task. I remember we used to have knee-deep garbage, which was a 200-year garbage dumping ground of Bombay Municipal Corporation. So that place today has transformed into a good visiting place. But as Kedareshwari said, and I also agree, science changes so much, technology changes so fast. We need to invest time and money every 5 years to modernize them. This is why, in my opinion, in the conference today, my colleagues, Science Center, other museum, you have to consider. Otherwise, why do visitors make a repeat visitation? The success of a museum is the number of repeat visitors you have. So I always consider more people come back, it means you are more successful. They will come back when there are new things. They will come back when there's something more useful come for them. So this is, I think we need to modernize. It is really an issue everywhere because in every sector I've seen, and especially government sector, they give you money for building new things, but they hardly give you money for changing or maintenance.
Right. Very
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Very true.
So that's why I'm always promoting now. Even today, we had discussions on how to raise money from from outside. So so we have found out ways. Now you know how the science center community is giving consultancy and to outside museums, other science center, they are taking turnkey basis to make for others, and they are really earning money now. And government has, at least I'm very happy, permitted that you can use your earning for upgradation. Otherwise, they would go to put into consolidated fund of government of India. It goes back to the government. No, now they have agreed whatever you earn, you can use it for modernization. That's a good initiative. Government is realizing that. Yeah. I hope they do it for everybody.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah.
They have confidence in science museums. Same confidence they don't show in art museums.
I hope they will do it.
You guys have always been very fast. I've been
Pardon?
noticing you. Yeah. My association with Rautela dates back to prehistoric days.
I think 1982. If
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
wrong.
That's what I meant, prehistoric. So,
Yeah.
he has been a very good teacher, great educator, great
I remember.
modernizer. I mean, there are
Okay.
no adjectives left to praise him. But Dr. Rautela, our next meet of Bharatiya Dharohar, after praising you so much, is a physical one in Uttarakhand. Kariye usko abhi, physical career.
Interesting. Thank you.
Isn't it? What is interesting? I'm requesting you to have a physical meet of Bharatiya Dharohar in Uttarakhand. At your
You know,
place.
today I talked in this expo, I gave a talk on disaster management and museums.
Ah,
Totally new, it's not my field, but I felt it's so necessary that we are not prepared for disasters.
no, we are
And
not prepared at all, let me tell you.
yeah,
In the
so
museum field, we are not prepared.
yeah,
We
we
do
had
these seminars, 2 days orientation courses, but it ends up in a book. No one reads
Yeah.
it again. It is in the shelves.
I had recently we organized an international conference on disaster management for Himalayas. So I got very inspired. I don't know, some of the learning in the conference should be passed on to my museum colleagues. So I prepared a really good documentation of all the steps that we must take to make our museums disaster resilient, so that we are hazard resilient, so that whenever something happens, we prepare, minimize the losses, and even prevent losses. So
Yes.
that was very
Yeah,
interesting.
that would be a very interesting presentation.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay,
So
then.
if
Yeah.
we have no questions, I have to run to the news session.
Yeah. Please carry on.
Today-
Carry
Yes,
on.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Dr. Rautela, please carry
Yes.
on.
Thank
Suni,
you
you
very
can
much.
bring
Thank
the
you.
next speaker.
Thank you once.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Rautela. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.